Back when I was 4 and I knew the name of every dinosaur, I learned how to read comic books. My babysitter said I was really smart. When the lights went out, everything changed. The radio music made me feel strange, and I had a real bad dream about a gorilla in the bathroom. And back when I was 6, I took everything real serious, and I thought that every song that came on the radio was referring to strange sexual acts, because they thought I wouldn't know the facts, and being small is hard and no one ever tells you how. And back when I was 8, I would sit outside on an old milk crate and look out at the world from the stoop across the street. The boom boxes and the hot concrete, and every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons across 9th Street. And back when I was 12 or so, I swear to God I never felt so low. Everyone but me was making out and eating cookies. I had more than my brain could stand. I threw my life in a garbage can. I felt so weird I had to disappear in crying suicide disease. And at 15 getting stoned felt good, and it sent me back to childhood. And nothing ever mattered to me more than that. But then 16 became eclipse, my brain became apocalypse. I was lost and found, and I've never been the same. And back when I was 22, I left the best thing that I knew, and I gave it up for fortune and for fame. I played like I didn't know how, I shocked the world, I wowed the crowd, but I deserved more than what they gave. And back when I was 27, still nothing had been forgiven. Clay turns into rock and rock just sits. So sitting on a crowded beach, I'd pretend I was a leech, and I would stick to things here and there for a little bit. And back when I was 31, I knew I'd become what I'd become. Nothing left to reveal, and there was nowhere else to turn. So shocked and withered, dumb and bitter, and in need of a babysitter, I would gladly let my hand fall off and burn. And back when I turned the big 4-0, I realized just how much there was to go. And I started to think being alone forever wasn't where it was at. So I took my head out of the window and taught myself how to love real fast. I started talking about painting with a woman in a laundromat. And back when I was 50 and my first wife had just left me, I felt okay and I sang my daughter funny little songs. And just when I thought the best was past, I fell in love for real at last, and it didn't even matter that it had taken me so long. And back when I was 63, the public rediscovered me. My comic books and albums had all become rare cult collector items. Both my parents were deceased, so they didn't see my records get re-released, and I got a dog for the first time in my life. Back when I was 74, my dog died and I got 2 more. I still felt really good about my daughter and also about my girlfriend, and I would sing and draw a little bit, but mostly I would just wake up early and sit and hang out with the puppies and wish that I could live forever. And back when I was 87 and my grandson had just turned 11, my woman was dead and my dogs were getting pretty old. My body didn't work like it should, but overall things were pretty good, and I was getting decent royalties from the reissued comic books and records. And back when I was 106, my only friend was one goldfish. Everyone I ever knew was dead and gone. And the goldfish never had a name, and the neighbors thought I was insane. And I flushed it down the toilet when I saw it floating upside down. And back when I was 128, I'd sit outside on an old milk crate and look out at the world from the stoop across the street. The boom boxes and the hot concrete, and every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons across 9th Street. Every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons. Every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons. Every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons. Yeah, that song was called Back When I Was 4, but I guess that song and this next song are going to be out on an album called It's the Ones Who've Cracked That the Light Shines Through, out on Rough Trade Records. Thanks to Rough Trade, and this song is however, called Don't Let the Record Label Take You Out to Lunch. Don't let the record label take you out to lunch. You're the one who's gotta pay at the end of the day. And try not to want people to like you too much. You'll just need more and more flatteries to recharge your batteries. And don't let showmanship get more important than honesty. If you don't want to be so many singers you see, you don't have to act crazy to do something amazing. You can be just like you should and still do something really good. And even when you know there's nobody listening, say it to yourself, cause it's good for your health. I know nothing makes sense if you think too much. Religion and pigeon radios and televisions, oh, it takes so much strength just not to suck. And not to be a cynic looking for another gimmick, but you're distraught at the thought of losing everything again. And they say it's not the way you play the game, it's if you win. But don't let the record label take you out to lunch, cause every sip of soup has gotta get recouped. Then you got a good review and then you get a bad review. So don't get suckered either way, cause none of them know you. And don't let the record label take you out to lunch, cause they'll call you a cab and put it on your tab. I'm leaving town for a while, but I'll be in touch. One thing I know is true is that I got a lot to do, and that it takes big heart to make great, great art. And I'm just a little dot in a great big pot. But now that I've started and it's hard to stop, I've been wondering at night about the wrong and right. And is somebody your savior if you owe them back a favor? No, they're not, so there's only one choice that you got. Don't let the record label take you out to lunch. Though the fishes look delicious, someone's gotta do the dishes. People might say you're insane or just looking to complain, and you need them more than they need you, so don't bite the hand that feeds you. And everyone's been fair and nice, you consider them a friend, but everything still has a price and you don't want to overspend, cause it's your wallet and your soul when the check comes in the end. So no matter what the situation, art, love, occupation, I'll hold off on the hors d'oeuvres. That's not what I'm in it for. I only want what I deserve. I want no less, I want no more. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments on your own heart. I had no place to put myself, but I had lots of time. I had no place to put myself, but I had lots of time. I had no place to put myself, but I had lots of time. So I threw out some past and made room for more future. And now I'm standing on the seam between my memories and dreams, floating down the stream between my memories and dreams, floating down the stream between my memories and dreams. And I see a better person waiting his turn to be me. And you don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments on your own heart. And now I'm running down the runway in between gigantic numbers. I'm running down the runway in between gigantic numbers. I'm running down the runway in between gigantic numbers, with my knapsack and a zero for a halo. And my halo's got a hole in it so it don't keep me dry. My halo's got a hole in it so it don't keep me dry. My halo's got a hole in it so it don't keep me dry. But it's okay cause my brain is my heart's umbrella. And you don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments on your own heart. I had a girl I had to leave, I saw her face upon my sleeve. I had a girl I had to leave, I saw her face upon my sleeve. I had a girl I had to leave, I saw her face upon my sleeve. It kept talking so I put it in the laundry. And as it spun and spun it tried to ask me what I'd done. And as it spun and spun it tried to ask me what I'd done. And as it spun and spun it tried to ask me what I'd done. But I was gone on down the road up to the wind. Cause you think silence is a virtue, and what you don't know can't hurt you. And that events can change and shape us more than we can change ourselves. And that conscious attempt at growth is stupid, and I should just relax and be myself. And you even think it's arrogant to try. But you don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments. You don't have to be a scientist to do experiments on your own heart. Well, that song was called You Don't Have to Be a Scientist to Do Experiments on Your Own Heart. And this is another one from the new album. It's called Alphabet. Late at night, cloudy light will creep over my old house. And in the chair where I once sat, someone new is there, and he'll stare at that wall. And we are all parts of an alphabet. We spell new words in new spots we're at. And the big round blue boat drifts around in the dark. When you feel like a jerk, does it make you confused? Like, how could you become as awesome as you are and still feel like a loser? When you feel ugly and petty, awkward and unsteady, just try not to forget there's so many people who've liked you. I hope that the art school enjoys your big drawing of ruin. We've all got good things to do, and it's good when we do them. From Austin to Brooklyn, they're all smart and good looking. We're all parts of an alphabet. We spell new words with new folks we met. And the big round blue boat drifts around in the dark. And the big round blue boat drifts around in the dark. And they say that we'll drift for a while till we die in the sun. It's a spiral, it's a combination lock. I'm just hoping that I'll get it open, and that these joys and frustrations are just turns in the combination.